What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. Big upset in the sport of boxing yesterday that shook up the heavyweight division. As unified heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua, nicknamed AJ, lost a unanimous decision to former undisputed cruiserweight champion AJ-Usyk, aka Crazy Eyes. Big upset in the sport of boxing yesterday, as AJ made a fatal mistake in playing a chess match with one of the best chess players in boxing today, AJ-Usyk. When you talk about boxing IQs, I put Terrence Bud Crawford at the top of the list, but I put AJ-Usyk not too far behind Terrence Crawford at number 2 as the smartest boxers in boxing. I put Vasily Lomachenko right there too. I probably put Vasily Lomachenko and AJ-Usyk as 2A and 2B right behind Terrence Bud Crawford as having the highest boxing IQ in the sport of boxing. And when you fighting fighters like that, you can't get into a situation where you get caught up in a chess match. Well, you out here, you out here trying to feint when he feints. You out here trying to use head movement. You trying to use the jab, he uses the jab. You trying to slip punches. You out here trying to beat him at his game. You got caught up in fighting AJ-Usyk's game yesterday, Anthony Joshua, and you came up shorter than a midget on his knees when you did that. In the rematch, the thing about it is, I can say that, but in the rematch, he got a dilemma. But I heard a lot of people say after the fight, man, Anthony Joshua didn't use his, he didn't lose his physical attributes in the fight. He's a naturally bigger guy. He's got the height advantage. He should have just opposed his will on AJ-Usyk. Yeah, that sound good. That sound like a winning strategy. But in all actuality, when you implement that strategy, you basically is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of strategy. It either gonna go real well, or it's gonna go real bad. Or it could go real well and then go real bad. You see what I'm saying? Because when you come out like that, aggressive, trying to land your shots, trying to be a bigger guy on a guy like AJ-Usyk, he's gonna make you pay. He's gonna catch you with something you don't see. And that was part of the problem with Anthony Joshua in the championship rounds of the fight with AJ-Usyk. I think he did throw caution to the wind to a certain degree, and he started trying to rush AJ-Usyk, and he got caught with a shot he didn't see, and he almost got knocked out in the 12th round. He almost got stopped. He was on the ropes, and he was in bad shape. If Usyk would have had another 30 seconds, he probably would have stopped AJ in that 12th round. So he's faced with a dilemma. He can come in there like everybody's saying. I heard Dylan White say, man, he fought a crazy fight, man. He's a weirdo, man. He should have used his size. He should have used his physical attributes. Yeah, that sounds good. Dylan White, I would like to see you get in there with AJ-Usyk. And I know that's exactly what you're going to do. And I'd like to see how that fight's going to play out. Because I do believe that's probably the best way to do it. But it's one of them things where either you're going to hit a home run or you're going to strike out with the bases loaded if you come in with that strategy. So we will see what happens. And we will see what transpires. But as far as the fight goes last night, man, I thought the first 5 rounds were very competitive. I thought AJ did pretty good in the first round. I thought he probably lost the first round, but he was doing all right. And I thought he was in the fight after the first 5 or 6 rounds. I saw a lot of people on Twitter, and I think some of the judges that judged this fight had AJ-Usyk up like, 4 rounds to 1 after the first 5 rounds. And I believe that was an accurate card, but it wasn't like a lot of those rounds were competitive. I know the first round was competitive. Round 3 was big for Usyk, but I thought round 1 and round 2 were very competitive. I thought Usyk won those rounds, but it ain't like he was blowing AJ out in the first 2 rounds. Now the 3rd round was ugly for AJ. He got hit with some big left hands, and Usyk did a good job of using the right jab. And then coming right behind the right jab, he was coming with an overhand right. And he did a good job with that. And he did a good job of feinting AJ. AJ was really worried about those feints. He had AJ reacting off of all his feints. And he pretty much did a good job of being on the outside, kind of doing a little hop, hop, hop. Sean Porter then implemented that in his game, where you be on the outside, you kind of jumping like you crisscross, and you jumping. You just basically in that rhythm, and you kind of pot shot from the outside using that right jab, and then you coming in with the left hand after the jab. And Usyk did a very good job of doing that last night in the fight with Anthony Joshua. Now Anthony Joshua is gonna have to make a decision. He's got to use the jab, number one, in the rematch. He definitely got to use the jab. He's got to use your physical attributes. Use the jab. He's got to fight similar to the way he fought in the second Andy Ruiz Jr. fight, but he can't be doing all that grabbing and all that running. That's going to look real bad. Even if he do get a decision, people are going to talk bad about him like they talked bad about him after the second Andy Ruiz fight. But if he gets the win, who cares? But I'm just saying, he's going to have to, I don't think that's going to work with Usyk. Usyk ain't going to come in there grossly out of shape like Andy Ruiz came in the second fight. So I don't think that strategy is going to work. I think Usyk going to slip the jab. He's going to get inside, work the body, and he's going to come over the top with the jab with the left hook. And he's basically going to take that jab away from AJ if AJ try to fight that way. So I don't think AJ can beat him in a boxing match at all. He's kind of like in the same situation as Deontay Wilder. I don't believe Deontay Wilder can outbox Fury in the third fight without getting a couple of knockdowns. If he get a couple of knockdowns, I think he can win a decision. But if it ain't no knockdowns, I don't think he can win more rounds than Fury. But I think he can have success boxing. But I think he's got to set up the right hand. I think he's got to set up the left hook. And that's going to be Wilder's ticket to victory in the Fury fight. And I think AJ's going to take similar things. I think he's going to have to use the jab and try to box at times, but always be looking to set up that uppercut. The uppercut is his money punch, and he's definitely got to use his size, man. He's gonna have to go through some fire. And one thing I didn't notice about AJ don't like to get hit no more. Ever since the Vladimir Klitschko fight, where he got dropped and he got hurt real bad in that fight, he was able to rally. You know, Klitschko didn't step his foot on the gas when he had him hurt. He thought he probably can get him out there later on. He made a bad miscalculation, ended up getting stopped himself later on in that fight. But ever since that fight, AJ ain't had that guy that he don't seem like he'd be willing to walk through fire. He's a guy that doesn't like to get hit. Adrian Broner got that problem right now. That's why he's not the same fighter he was before the Marcos Maidana fight. He don't like to get hit. And AJ's one of those same guys. So to ask AJ to, oppose his size, jab his way in, try to get inside and try to back Usyk on the ropes and basically try to mug and use his weight and try to hit him with shots. That's what Fury did in the Valin fight. I don't think AJ has that mentality. So AJ's best bet is going to have to be to try to box him at times, but I always be looking to set up that right hand and let that right hand go and try to get a knockout in the second half of that fight, because he's not going to outbox Usyk, and he can't just rush Usyk and try to impose his physical attributes. If he does that, he's going to run into something. He's going to end up getting knocked out. He's going to end up getting knocked out. So I don't think he should do that. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But a good fight. It shook up the heavyweight division. Alexander Usyk is the Vasily Lomachenko of the heavyweight division. Very good. You can tell that when he made that change of trainers. See, people didn't really take this into account going into this fight. He changed trainers going into the AJ fight. He didn't have the same training he had when he fought Chaz Witherspoon and Derek Chisora. He took on Vasily Lomachenko's dad, trained him, and he fought the classic Vasily Lomachenko's style of fight. What Vasily do is he make you fight at a breakneck pace, and you can't keep up, man. Especially somebody like AJ that has shown signs of gassing out and slowing down in fights. Look at the Takum fight. You know what I'm saying? He done faded in fights before, so this ain't nothing new with AJ. And when he was fighting at that type of pace with Alexander Usyk, it was just a matter of time before he got caught, and he got caught with a shot. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Yeah, we will see what happens and see what transpires. But seeing somebody I know back there. What's up? All right. Yeah, man. But good matchup by Alexander Usyk, man. He's got a beautiful straight left hand. He's got a very, very good left hook, right hook and left hook. He does a good job of. He's very unorthodox. I ain't never seen too many fighters that'll throw a right jab and then right after the right jab throw a overhand right. He go jab, right hand with the same right hand. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen too bad. Somebody might throw a jab and then throw a straight left. If they throw a right jab, they throw a straight left, or throw a right jab, throw a left hook. But he throw a right jab and then right behind it he'll throw overhand right, man. This guy's very unorthodox but very skilled fighter. He is the Vasily Lomachenko of the heavyweight division. And you've got to put him in the mix of the heavyweight division. You know, I said before this fight, and I said in several videos that the heavyweight division was 3 deep, but you've got to put AJ-Usyk in the equation now. It's definitely 3 deep right now, but you got to take Anthony Joshua out of there and put AJ-Usyk in the spot. So you're looking at Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and AJ-Usyk as the top 3 heavyweights in the heavyweight division. Anthony Joshua is going to have to make some adjustments and fight a different style of fight. Got to be disciplined and aggressive at the same time. And he's got to implement a very tricky strategy to defeat a guy as skilled and unorthodox and is as savvy, as crafty, and a guy that's got a lot of heart, a guy that's willing to take shots. He was willing to take a lot of shots from AJ to get inside AJ. He took some shots, but he was able to. He wanted to close the distance, get inside, and put a lot of pressure on AJ, and he was able to do that. So he seems to be more of a dog than AJ. AJ is a real nice guy. No, you can see he's got that type of demeanor when he's outside the ring, man. Very gregarious guy. Very guy that's to me he seems like, you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of, he's like the Dwight Howard of the heavyweight division. If y'all know Dwight Howard, Google him. Especially you guys in the UK, Google him. He's a guy that had a lot of talent. He put Superman, he tattooed Superman on his body. Very good guy. Very good basketball player, but wasn't no killer. Didn't have that killer instinct. He's going to the Hall of Fame. And he's going to go down as probably a top 15, top 20 center of all time. But with his skill set, he definitely should have been one of those guys trying to break through that top 5 of greatest centers of all time with his skill set. But he wasn't no killer. He wasn't no dog. And I look at the same thing with Anthony Joshua, who, when he hangs up his gloves, is definitely going into the Hall of Fame. But with his skill set and his mindset, he could be easily go down as one of the top 5, top 7 heavyweights of all time. If he just had that killer instinct, had that dog mentality. He doesn't have that. It's just something that you got to be born with. It ain't something that you can be coached into. You either have it or you don't. He don't have it, but he's still a guy that has a good skill level, and if he executes the right game plan, he could possibly beat AJ-Usyk in the rematch. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts about the epic matchup between Usyk and Joshua, and let me know who you like in the rematch, and let me know what you think AJ needs to do in the rematch. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know what you think Usyk needs to do in the rematch. You think he needs to do the same old he did in the second fight, or do you think there's some adjustments he can make? I don't think he can fight no better, you know what I'm saying? I just think he probably can maybe go to the body just a little bit more when he slipped that jab, really work the body. He hit him at the body with like 1 shot. I think he can probably hit him with combinations to the body, left hand, right hand to the body, and really dig to the body. I think he could do that in the rematch. That could be something that can pay dividends and maybe break down AJ a little bit earlier. He had him on Queer Street in that 12th round, but if he had a little bit more time, maybe he could have got him up out of there. But if he would have invested in the body a little bit early on, maybe he could have got the stoppage in the championship round. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, and I holla.